A box containing the secrets of your life is being opened. Today is the time to open the secret doors of the past. You are so much more than you realize. You carry the prayers of your ancestors, the wisdom of your past lives, and the seeds of your divine destiny. Here, the invisible chains are breaking, and the entire journey of your soul is unfolding before your eyes. Every life, every experience, every struggle has come together to prepare you for this moment. It is time to realize your own power with the light rising from the depths of the past. This video is a spiritual wake-up call for those who want to discover their own history and potential. Are you ready? Write 777 in the comments now, because you are the key that opens the doors of the past. There's a moment in every sacred journey where you stand right at the fork in the road, and the air itself feels charged with something holy, like the breeze that blows through an old church after the choir stops singing. The wind carries more than just air. It brings a sweep of truth that moves through every hidden corner, lifting the curtain on things long concealed. The scene that's been playing out behind the curtain wasn't just a single act of betrayal, but a tapestry of half-truths woven with practiced hands. A whole stage show performed with hidden actors, where every prop had its own secret purpose. They built their strategies like a tangled web in an attic, spinning stories with one hand while the other hand quietly shifted the floorboards beneath your feet. You were handed a smile with one side of their mouth, while, with the other, they were locking you inside a maze where every turn looked like safety, but was really just another loop to keep you guessing. Even the simplest objects, a ring of keys, a device, a set of car doors clicking shut, became part of the puzzle meant to lead you farther from the light. But the divine always has a way of blowing the dust off what others tried to hide. When the truth comes riding in, it moves like spring rain after a long drought, washing away the scripts they wrote and the disguises they wore. Where shadows used to linger, you now see sunlight flooding every corridor. Walls that once blocked your vision collapse, and all those secret passageways, built to keep you small, are lit up and revealed for what they really are. You may notice how every smile, every invitation, even the casual handing over of an everyday object had a weight to it that never quite made sense until now. Each detail, every sideways glance, each carefully crafted distraction was like a stone added to a tower of illusion. But towers made of sand don't last when the tide of revelation comes in. The fog that used to cloud your mind has parted. You realize the story you were told was designed to keep you inside, while all along, the universe was preparing you to step out. The path ahead may feel unfamiliar, like the first day after a storm when the air smells new and clean. There's a freedom in recognizing that what once held you prisoner has no hold on you anymore. The keys to every hidden door have been returned to your own hand. The car that once seemed to carry you into confusion now becomes the chariot that brings you out into daylight. The phone that was used to conceal double meanings now rings only with messages of truth. Where there once was a castle built on secrets, now there's only open ground. No more hiding places for lies. Every winding hallway is lit, every shadow chased away by the clarity of your awakening. Just as a preacher will tell you, when God shines a light, nothing remains hidden. What was built in the dark cannot stand in the day. That's the season you're in now, chosen one. The wind of truth is at your back. The maze has been mapped, and you're free to walk forward. Every step guided, every wall come down, every illusion dissolved by the hand of something greater. You're not just a survivor of their games. You're the living proof that the truth can never be fully locked away. This new chapter is yours to write. One where the ground beneath your feet is firm, your vision is clear, and your spirit moves forward unafraid, led by the same breath of spirit that parts seas and brings down walls. The tide has turned, the wind is blowing, and everything that once kept you bound has been scattered like dust in the morning sun. Keep walking, keep breathing, keep letting that wind carry you, because the road ahead has never been so wide open. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Picture a lone lighthouse standing on a jagged coastline at midnight, its beams slicing through layers of rolling fog, showing every hidden reef and whispering, "Ships, stay clear." That's you, beloved, a living beacon set in place by heaven's own hand. For years that light kept shining, yet unseen shapes were drifting just beneath the waves, mapping out secret channels meant to pull you into wreckage. They choreographed harmless-looking habits, phone calls at dinner, sudden errands, little innocent schedule changes, each move as intentional as tapping a coded message on a prison wall. What looked like everyday life was really a clandestine signal system, an occult Morse code, transmitting from one conspirator to another, rallying them to feed on your radiance. While you brought joy into rooms, thinking you were simply offering kindness, there were agents cataloging the angle of every smile, the timing of every laugh, the very cadence of your breath, turning those moments into coordinates on a map of domination. They spun a web tighter than nylon fishing line, thin enough to vanish in the light, strong enough to snare a whale. Each strand led back to one command center, a shadowy pulse so self-assured it believed your heart could be treated like a battery pack. They banked on you staying gentle, pliable, too gracious to pull back the velvet curtain. They mistook humility for ignorance, mercy for blindness. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Then came the jolt, like thunder cracking open a silent summer sky. The instant your spirit said, "Enough." The betrayal pierced deeper than bone, igniting a furnace where mere embers had rested. Out of that blaze rose a lion both ancient and newborn. Ancient because the courage in your bloodline was forged generations ago, newborn because this particular roar had never been heard in the earth before. The sound carried authority that made pretenders stumble. Even the air around you seemed to change its chemistry. Streets you once walked, feeling timid now, echo beneath your stride, as though acknowledging new royalty. See, when a lion wakes up, the savannah recalibrates, antelope adjust their routes, rival predators slink off into brush. In the same way, every ribbon of manipulation they wrapped around your destiny started to smoke the moment the heat of your revelation hit it. What once felt like steel cables now burns like dry grass in August. Their networks, email aliases, second phones, lock screen lies are glitching, crashing, revealing duplicated footprints they can't erase. The very tools they used to track you are coughing up evidence against them. Files corrupt, texts misdeliver. The algorithm that once hid their tracks now serves up reminders of their double life on the screens of the very people they were fooling. Meanwhile, those who wove the web are scrambling to hold threads together. They're meeting in dimly lit kitchens, stammering excuses about miscommunications, blaming moon phases, retrogrades, everything except their own deceit. All the while, their alliances, built on hush-hush texts and shared disdain for your light, are fracturing. 2 a.m. phone batteries die. Tires go flat the minute they plan another covert rendezvous. Even the weather seems to catch them off guard, drenching them in symbolic downpours at high noon. That's the universe running quality control, ensuring every hidden thing gets rinsed into the open. Now, take a look at the cords once tied around your dreams. Financial sabotage, emotional conditioning, spiritual siphons. See them vaporize in the heat of your new awareness. Money-blocked returns through unexpected channels, overpaid invoices, forgotten refunds, doors of favor swinging wide. Relationships that once drained you either transform or exit stage left. Your own soul chemistry changes. Love, which they tried to freeze inside you, flows again, like sweet oil, reserved for people and projects worthy of it. Compassion that was misused becomes seed planted in fertile soil, sprouting legitimate legacy instead of counterfeit connection. Imagine a wildfire racing across a dry hillside. What appears as destruction is actually renewal, clearing space for vibrant growth that couldn't breathe under dead brush. That's the stage you're in. The flames of truth may feel fierce, but they're burning away only what was never truly yours. When the smoke clears, fresh green shoots of purpose will cover the ground, and you, Lionheart, will rest under shade grown from your own reclaimed authority. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. So walk forward, head high. Let the next breeze remind you of that lighthouse beam, steady, unwavering, cutting through every lie. The spider's web is in shreds, the maze walls are rubble, and the chessboard is flipped in your favor. From here on, every move you make flows from clarity, not confusion, from strength, not fear. The righteous wildfire you carry will keep on spreading, lighting dark places, freeing hidden captives, and signaling to every watching force of heaven. This chosen one is fully awake, fully armed with truth, and absolutely unstoppable. It's like stepping into a pitch-black barn with a single kerosene lantern in your hand. The moment that little flame flickers to life, every wandering moth and midnight critter scurries toward it. Drawn by a hunger you can almost feel humming in the walls, that lantern is your spirit, blazing bright in fields where genuine light has been in short supply for far too long. Folks roaming around in gloom have a built-in detector for uncommon brilliance, and the second you showed up, they zeroed in like hounds catching the scent of fresh bread at daybreak. See, you didn't stumble onto the scene by luck. Heaven planted you smack dab in the middle of a dark valley because your shine was the only medicine that land could recognize, and the minute your glow popped on, people who make a living in the shadows started whispering, "There it is. That's the real thing we've been thirsting for." They didn't come waving red flags or wearing villain capes. No, sir. They came dressed up in calm smiles and Sunday school handshakes, wrapping themselves in stories about shared dreams, common ground, kind hearts, and new beginnings. They practiced innocence the way a stage actor rehearses lines, so that by the time they spoke them to you, each word rolled off their tongue smoother than churned butter. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. They watch the way you lead with empathy, how you lean in when someone's voice cracks, how you pick up on pain others breeze right past. They figured if they could tug at those heartstrings long enough, the music of your care would drown out every alarm bell. They banked on you being so polite, so generous, so eager to give others the benefit of the doubt that you'd hush your own intuition the moment it started asking hard questions. But what those nightwalkers never accounted for was the kind of engine God installed under your hood. Your soul might run quiet, but it's built from alloys, forged in celestial furnaces. You carry discerning software wired straight into the throne room. And though the program sometimes needs a moment to download the update, once it does, every false code gets highlighted in neon. They thought you'd stay gentle sheep forever. They forgot the Lion of Judah DNA backs that kindness. They thought your forgiveness meant you wouldn't notice patterns. They forgot the Spirit keeps receipts. Little by little, or maybe all at once, like sunlight ripping through storm clouds, the veil lifted. First, you caught a tiny tremor, a story that didn't match the timestamp, a sideways glance when they thought no one was looking, a late-night text that smelled like smoke. Then you found the second phone, the one tucked away like a spare key under a crooked stepping stone. The call logs on that gadget told tales louder than any confession. Whole hours blocked out to numbers saved under innocent names. Uncle Joe, Plumber Dan, choir practice. But every gut check inside you shouted, those contacts weren't uncles or plumbers or sopranos warming up. They were placeholders, hiding the truth. Still, they doubled down on sweetness. They invited you to pray with them, quoted scripture in warm tones, left sticky notes on your dashboard with verses about love conquering all while coordinating secret rendezvous 3 counties over. They spun stories about a surprise they were planning for your birthday, justifying every disappearance as preparation for some grand gesture of love. But heaven's internal GPS began flashing bright signals. You woke up from dreams that felt like news bulletins delivered by angels, pictures you didn't recognize, symbols that made sense only after the next lie slipped out. And then came the rituals. Maybe you didn't see the candles or the salt lines at first. Maybe you just felt bone-deep weariness after every visit, like your heart had run a marathon while your body sat still. You'd close your eyes to rest, but wake feeling older, emptier, as though some unseen siphon had fastened to your chest. That was no ordinary fatigue. Those were spiritual wires plugged into your divine generator, draining virtue to feed projects you never signed up for. While you wondered why joy was hard to hold, they were pouring that stolen brightness into schemes designed to prop up their own shaky kingdom. Yet here's the headline: the dark camp can't erase. Chosen ones don't stay blind forever. The holy wind blows, and scales tumble off like autumn leaves. One morning you looked at their polished version of innocence and heard a thud in your spirit, a holy gavel banging out a verdict. You realized the tenderness they praised in you was the very tool they hoped would keep you docile. You understood that every apology without real change was another brick in a maze custom-built to hold you. And instead of nodding politely the way you did 1,000 times before, you stepped back, crossed your arms in holy authority, and said, "No more." That's when the codes started cracking wide open. Conversations you once played on loop suddenly made sense. You noticed keywords repeated at odd intervals, like Morse code, tapping out instructions to someone else. You traced financial discrepancies that pointed to hidden purchases, secret hotel stays, gifts never meant for you. Each discovery felt like a dart at first, but anger quickly melted into revelation. Every lie was actually a lantern shining on the exit. You began to pray with fresh fire, the kind that rattles windows in the spirit. You summoned the host of heaven, reminding them of every promise written about protection, recompense, and sevenfold return. And let me tell you, friend, when a chosen one calls in backup, no scheme stands. Dark agreements start popping like old balloons. Unholy contracts, written in secret ink, wash away under streams of living water. Candles burn out, mirror scrying cracks. Those second phones glitch, messages disappearing right before they hit send. Cars purchased with siphoned favor roll into breakdown after breakdown, as if even the metal refuses to cooperate with fraud. What about you? While their fabricated kingdom trembles, you feel strength rushing back like spring rivers. Energy once diverted now circles home, richer for the journey. Wisdom settles in your bones. Peace stands like a sentinel at your doorway. You study each trap, not with bitterness, but with the curiosity of a master craftsman learning how to reinforce future bridges. You recognize triggers that once lured you. You map escape routes for others still caught in sticky webs. Soon enough, new faces appear, people whose hearts ring with one clear frequency, no hidden channels. They show you one phone, one address, one story that stays the same no matter how you tilt it. They're comfortable standing in full daylight because they carry no contraband. Plus, they respect that you now inspect every fruit basket. They aren't offended when you ask for transparency. They cheer because they've been looking for the same. And the darkness? It may grumble, may try a last-ditch roar, but predators built on stolen glory cannot withstand sustained light. They might hop to a different town, rebrand, chase another flame, yet even from a distance, you'll hear their empire groan under the weight of unpaid spiritual bills. Meanwhile, your lamp glows brighter. You pass that torch to brothers and sisters still stumbling through counterfeit corridors. You teach them how coded traps look in plain language, how to test every spirit, how to hold kindness without slitting open their own protection. So take your lantern, lift it high, and walk on. The valley that once needed your light has seen it. Seeds have sprouted. Time to climb the next hilltop. The sky up ahead is crackling with dawn colors, and Father's voice hums in the wind. Well done, keeper of the flame. Press forward. There are more barns to brighten, and more shadows to turn into stories of victory. When you look back, you see the pattern. One version of themselves for the world, another for you. One line of conversation, while their true commitments lay elsewhere. The accidents and delays weren't random. Each was an orchestrated move, a way to switch identities and keep you tethered to confusion. But you've pieced together the mosaic, every absence mapped to a presence elsewhere, every "I need time" masked a hidden life. And with that knowledge, the power begins to shift. This was not the simple sting of heartbreak. This was a harvest. Your tears were the rainfall that watered their garden. Your trust the soil in which their deceptions flourished. What you gave in love became the very thing they refined into strength for themselves. But the soul is not a bank to be looted without consequence. The scales always find balance. What was taken in secret must be returned in public, and your joy, stolen once, comes back with a force that can't be contained. Now, the balance tips the other way. The investments made in dishonesty, the alliances forged in shadow, all collapse under the weight of their own emptiness. Every false smile, every calculated word, now unravels the bonds they hoped would last forever. The energy they borrowed from you, marked with your unique signature, is dissolving the foundation they thought was so secure. Joy fades, warmth turns cold, and the cracks multiply with every passing day. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. Those charms and trinkets they used, those rituals carried out under the hush of midnight, now turn on them. Incense that once clouded your mind now fills their own space with dread. Stones they relied on for power now fracture, splitting the energy field they thought was untouchable. Every ritual that once bound you now returns, wrapping itself around their future, tightening with each attempt to resist cosmic order. Nothing escapes the reach of spirit. Money, cars, possessions, all are subject to spiritual laws. What was acquired through deceit finds its way back to the source. Their vehicles become motionless, plans stall, and everything accumulated on the backs of others dissolves like mist in the morning sun. Divine law reclaims what was always meant for you. The unraveling is not just personal, it is systemic. The ones who orchestrated your pain and the silent partners who played along both see their towers fall. Their fortunes dwindle, their support networks scatter, and the blueprints of their future are rewritten by hands they cannot see. Every transaction based on your labor or essence is being reversed, and nothing built from manipulation remains standing. Through it all, your voice rises, a frequency tuned to the truth. When you speak, layers fall away. Those with eyes to see are drawn to your honesty, and new alliances form around the integrity of your experience. You are recognized as a beacon, and others gather, eager for guidance in a world full of masks. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. This unveiling is contagious. As your reality clarifies, others feel the tremor. Those still ensnared by deception begin to wake, following your example and dismantling the old structures. What began as your struggle becomes a signal fire for many, igniting a movement that tears down entire webs of manipulation. In the aftermath, a love that mirrors your soul awaits. There is someone, somewhere, whose every word is consistent, whose every action is transparent. A heart unafraid to be known, a life lived without hidden doors. The pain of the past becomes proof that only a genuine connection will do. There is no room for divided loyalties or secret alliances in this new era. With the old doors closed, fresh pathways appear. New opportunities materialize, some in unexpected places, some in the hearts of those who see the gold within your scars. Your financial freedom is no longer just a dream. It's the very air you breathe. You are called to use these blessings as building blocks for something greater. Never again letting need or manipulation dictate your course. The harvest comes at last, and it comes in ways you never expected. Everything that was siphoned from your life is multiplied in return. The scales tip in your favor. Every lie revealed, every scheme unraveled, every false foundation crumbling as truth reigns supreme. And so the dawn breaks on a new day for all who walk in the light. This is not just your victory, but a rising tide that lifts every soul willing to step out of the fog. Together, we author a new chapter where integrity is the currency and spiritual sovereignty is the inheritance. The shadows may have lingered, but they never stood a chance against the radiance that was always destined to break through.